I'm hoping that people will share this video. The Freemasons have been being persecuted from the Catholic Church. So this whole stuff that's going around about them being involved in blood sacrifice, if you want to believe that, go ahead. But that's what the Catholic Church has been putting out, because they've been going after the Freemasons since the beginning of their history. See, the Freemasons, the reason that we have the symbols, this compass and everything, the reason it's all over Washington, it's on buildings, it's imprinted, is because, yes, our founders, the 1776 founders were definitely Freemasons. Do you know what they stood for? Separation of church and state, that the layperson educate their children. They stood for a true relationship with God. And the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope Clement, doesn't matter which Pope, they're all led astray. They're all just, the Catholic Church is at the root of everything, the Roman Empire. They have been the ones that have been trying to convince you of all this crap about the Freemasons. No, the Freemasons were something that, because of them, we have separation of church and state. Because of them, they have been trying to protect this land, because they know what this land's founding was about. So many people, including myself, because I've ripped on them, because I fell into the trap of believing the nonsense because everybody else said that because I don't like orders. I don't like the orders and the clubs, because I think they can be led astray, but I can get more into them. They go back to the Knights Templar too, and the Knight Templar, those people were persecuted by the Catholic Church as well. So it goes back very far. It is not some, they sort of are been underground just because their history is being persecuted by the Catholics, by the Romes and the Pope, the bishops, and their army of people that going back to the Crusades. So the message I'm trying to deliver here is that the Freemasons in our history is one that supported freedom. They supported freedom. Were they particular about people? And yes, they were, because of how much they have been persecuted. Makes sense, right? So, but they are the reason, because they are responsible for freedom of religion. They are responsible for much of our Constitution. I mean, it goes back to George Washington. They are responsible for separation of church and state. So if you want to say that this Born in Blood, I'm in the middle of reading this book, but this author went into the archives, and the Freemasons let him go into the archives, but they said to him, "Are you going to be fair in your writing about us?" And he said, "That's all I intend to do, is be fair." So I've just started listening to this, but when I heard that what they stood for was separation of church and state, they stood for freedom, everything that our country stands for, then I realized, oh my God. And then when they said that the Catholic Church has persecuted these people, I thought, that's why in America here, they have been trying to convince all Americans that the Freemasons are somehow tied to some blood sacrifice, some blood. And that this Born in Blood doesn't mean that it's not what you think it means. But they've been trying to make the Freemasons seem like they're the problem. No, the reason our founders and those symbols in Washington are there is because they were fighting against the Roman Catholic Church, the Church of England. And so, yes, in many ways they did go underground, because they were being tortured. They were being killed. I mean, if you go back far enough. I'll get more into it later at some point, but because of our media, because of the Catholic Church and you see how our media protects the Catholic Church, right? They do. They don't report about all of the child abuse the Catholic Church has done. So everything that this group's been accused of is really, you can put on the Catholic Church. Because with the amount of child abuse that's gone on in the Catholic Church, the molestation, sodomizing of children, that's sacrificing of children. They have blood on their hands everywhere, but they have blood going back all the way in their history, okay? everything, at the root of everything is the Roman Empire, which became the Roman Catholic Church, as I've said. So please, any videos that you come across that try to claim that the Freemasons are somehow demonic and based in some, I mean, I get it's the triangle, but that's not what you think it is. It's all of it's an information war going on. Remember that. There's an information war because we have propaganda media, and then we have bad actors that want to push, that want to raise up the Catholic Church, okay? I wouldn't trust any of those people because they're either misguided or they clearly serve something wicked. And then at the same time, a lot of those same people want to rip on the Freemasons. So that's not fair. The Freemasons were about being free. And the Masons part, it goes back to stonemasons. So I'll get into it more later, but please, if you come across those videos where they're wicked, did some of their Freemason organizations, were they wicked? Who knows? Who knows? Because as corrupt and wicked as the world we live in is, they will, a lot of these groups will create a group and then call themselves something like this, but they really were never that to begin with. But ultimately, it is the Freemasons for why America has separation of state and why the advocation for laymen to teach your children, for parents to be able to teach their children, not being controlled by the state. We have much thanks to give the Freemasons. So we need to stop falling for the propaganda, not just by the mainstream media, but also by those people that maybe you're following that you think are patriots.